In this video, I wanted to talk in a little more detail about doing an outline sketch for a painting. So I'm going to dive into that and go in a little more depth here than I usually do. So I usually start these with a thinned down oil paint mixture, a little bit of linseed oil to kind of loosen it up. And I just dive in on, this is going to be a figure study of a woman. And I dive in and I always start with the head, and I'm just roughing out the shape of the head. I try to do less so on curves and more so on like lines connecting to each other to try to rough out those shapes. I feel like that helps me a little bit, but I'm really just trying to get the rough kind of position of the head and how that looks. And I do a center line down the middle and a horizontal line for where I place the eyes. And then I just start connecting additional lines for body parts. So I'll kind of decide, where does the neck connect to the head? Where do the shoulders connect to the neck? How far out should the shoulders be from the neck, and where are they roughly in proportion and kind of in relation to those other pieces? This is all about position and proportion and just trying to catch angles. Just going down the line of the subject, where is this in relation to this? This is freehand style, no measuring. This is something that I have intentionally been practicing, I would say, ever since I started oil painting. I was trying to get better at this freehand style, and it's very sketchy. And because it's sketch-like in nature, I would say. So because oil paint is so forgiving, you don't need to worry if you mess up any of this. It's okay. You can just push the paint around. You can wipe it clean with a paper towel. You can fix your positions anytime you want. So once I get those rough body part positions, where everything is in relation to each other, usually I'll go back to the head. As you can see on screen, I kind of placed some rough shapes for the hair. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. You're going to go over all of this in paint later in the painting. So typically, if this is a figure study or a portrait with a background, I'll also rough out what's in the background here. So in this one, I wanted kind of like a little canal or a river type situation with some trees and some plants and some flowers. And there's going to be a little bit of a cityscape in the background as well. I'm not doing any detailing. I'm just trying to catch shapes of where dark spots are for the most part. And the blend that I was using at the start of this was kind of just a brownish mix of Umbers and Siennas kind of piled together, a little ultramarine blue too. This, I'm kind of touching off a little bit darker now too, catching a little more raw umber into that. Again, you don't have to be married to the position of where all this stuff is. You're really just trying to rough it out, everything in relation to everything else, kind of generally where are you going to put things later, again, without measurement. So once all those rough positions are in place, then I ignore the linseed oil, then I'm done with the linseed. Now I'm just doing straight oil paint, no solvent, no nothing else. And I just start blocking in those zones of color as you see on screen now. Just piecing in dark areas, blending up discrete color mixes, color values, hues, a lot of reds and yellows, ochres, umbers, and just start mixing and start applying where those specific colors go, where those shapes and blocks and zones of color go. Usually working dark and then working my way to light on the subject. I finish the head, or I do a lot of the face, then I move to the body, then I move to the background scenery. Again, dark to light, just trying to work and fill in blocks and shapes. As much as I can imitate an impressionist, that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Kind of that hybrid between impressionism and a little bit of realism, sort of a combo platter. So that's kind of basically how that process works. Certainly, I hope that was long enough. I didn't want to make it too long because I didn't want to belabor the outline point. But if you have any questions about those outlines, definitely hit me up in the comments. I'd love to chat about it. Thanks for watching this. Hope to see you for the next one.
No.